Hello, thought I'd do a video a bit different from what I normally do, showing you how I clean a record. Because this method, it's a bit unorthodox, but it does work very well for, like say, if you've got a record that's crackly but it's not really scratched, it's just dirty. I've got this copy of War of the Worlds by Jeff Wayne, and so this is record 2, this is side 3. You can see there is a bit of a scratch here, but if I can catch it in bright light to show the dirt, you can see some dirt there, but there's dirt around here, but sort of picking it up a bit, but you can sort of see it. But yeah, anyway, this is it's quite crackly and there's a lot of dirt on it. You can see around here all this. That's a bit better, you can see dust on it now and dirt in the grooves. Yeah, so what I do, and there is stuff on the internet about this method, it's using wood glue. So you cover it with wood glue, obviously not the label, and leave it to set, and then it doesn't bond to it properly, it goes into the grooves, but then you can peel it off and it lifts all, it bonds to all the grime in the grooves, lifts it off, and you're left with a clean record. There's certain things that you need to be aware of. Not all glues are suitable for it, even wood glues. On the internet, the one that's recommended is this stuff called Titebond 2, which I have used that and it is excellent and it does work, but it's an American product, so it's difficult to get hold of in Britain. You can get it online, but it's a lot more expensive than glues that are made by companies in this country. So I've got this, I've tried it out and it does work. It works very well, this Evo Stick wood glue. If you were to try a different glue, try it first on a record that you're not bothered about, because when I first started using this method, I tried this glue and it left like a sort of milky residue on the record, which, well, whether it was a residue or whether it did something to the vinyl, I'm not sure, because I couldn't get it off either with isopropyl alcohol or applying a coat of glue, of a known good glue, so there is that. But this one definitely works if you're in Britain, and that Titebond 2 is the other one. So I'll show you how I do it. I'll use an old turntable. I've got that lifted up. Now the belt on this is a bit rubbish, so when I start doing it I have to sort of spin it by hand a bit. So I use a card to spread it out. So what I do is I'm pouring it out of the thing rather than using the nozzle, because that's one thing about this, is the nozzle's a bit small and your hand starts aching because you're having to squeeze it that hard to get enough out to do the record. But you probably could use the nozzle, but it just take you longer. So I start in middle, but not too close to the middle, because you don't want to be getting it on label. And try and get a controlled flow of glue. about that sort of thickness. I've got it on 45 at the minute. A bit of a blob came out there. I don't go right to the edge with it either, because well, I pile it up a bit here and I'll spread it out to the edge with the card. This is where I end up having to spin it by hand, because you see it just stops it. Maybe if belt were in better condition it wouldn't do. So I'm getting it spread out now. And what you need to do is at the edge, at the outer edge and at the inner edge, you want a nice thick layer of glue with like a clean edge, because when you peel it off, if it's thin, you can end up leaving little bits. So you want it nice and thick so that it all comes off together. So I'm angling it that way to direct glue towards the inner edge. And with practice you can get it quite close to the label. And you see I've got a big thick edge there. It doesn't need to be as thick as that. So I'm going to put it parallel to, well, you know, across the groove to direct a bit back. I'll spin it to try and get it even. And then I'll go up to this edge. That looks alright. I just leave that to set, put it with the glue facing up on the edge of the desk, and then when that sets I can just peel it off. So this is good. I've got right up to the edge with a nice thick bit, but I've not gone over the edge. You can see here this thick rim of glue, and that's the edge of the record here. I've just left it a little bit and it should have enough surface tension that it don't run down the sides. That's a bit too much to the edge on this bit here. Here. But it should be alright, it's not too bad. And this in the middle it's a little bit thinner, but that should be alright. But if in doubt, just put more on. I mean, the good thing is if you do end up leaving some bits of glue on it, you can just do another coat and it'll bind, it'll be absorbed by the fresh glue, and you know, you can just do it again. And sometimes some records do benefit from multiple passes with it. Like I had this one, it were Dire Straits Love Over Gold, and that had it looked like something had been spilt on it, and I did it about 3 goes with glue. And when I first had it, it was crackly, really crackly as out. And now, because it weren't scratched, it looked like it had been sort of generally looked after until this something had been spilt on it, or this something had got on it. So once I'd cleaned all that off, it plays fine, and it's it's quiet and it's good. So what I do is leave this to set overnight, and then the next day I'll turn it over and do the other side. What I tend to do is, like, if I've got a few records to do, I'll do them in a batch. So I'll do all the side one, or whichever side, of a load of them. Then the next day turn them over, do the other side, and then the day after that peel them both off. So I'll do the other record in this. I'll put this. What I usually do is I'll put the sleeve somewhere and put the record on top of it, obviously with the glue facing up, and lay them out, and then when it's dry turn it over and do the other side, let that dry. So I'll do that with this, and I'll do the other record, and then I'll leave it, and I'll come back when it's dried, when both sides are dry, and I'll show you peeling it off and what happens. Right, so it's been a few days now and both sides are glued and dried, so it's time to remove them. So what I do, I'll try and find the thickest part of the edge, which I think is around here, maybe. Feel about the same all the way around, to be fair. Maybe this bit might be a good bit. You want it where there's like a little bit of a, you see, I don't go right to edge, so I can get under there. And what I do, I use a plectrum for this, but I'm just pushing against it. I'm not really trying to get under it, but it's just sort of separating it. You don't want to do it too hard where you're going to go too far and scratch it. And if you just can lift it up enough to get a nail under without scratching the vinyl, and you can peel it off. And there's a bit of a static charge developed there, and when you peel the other side off, you get a really big static charge developing. So what you want to do is to have the inner sleeve ready to put it away, which I don't know if I've got. It should be in here, but there's the booklet. I don't know what I've done with it. Just put it somewhere. Right, here we are, I found it. But I'll try and show, I'll show you this side actually. You can see, I mean, this is bits of dust where it's just picked up, these flecks from that static charge that's developed. Oh, well, you can see it is a lot cleaner. So I'm looking again for a good bit to start from. So over here, I think. It's left a little flake there. That's where it's gone a bit thin. And that's stuck to that with static. You can hear it. I'll try and lift it up. Hear that crackle. That's just completely stuck. This is why I'm saying about putting it away straight away. And like the charge does usually sort of dissipate after a while. Here, see if I can get it to show up properly. You can see there's still a bit of some finger marks on there. So it's not completely removed that bit, so it might want another treatment, but it is substantially cleaner than it was. I mean, you can see that there's a few scuffs on it. They were there. No, it's not going to do anything about that, but I'll put it away and then we'll give it a play test. So I've recorded it. I recorded it before I did it, and I'll do it after, now that it's done as well, and show you the difference. So I won't play the actual music, but I'll just play like the lead in, so you can hear the difference in crackle. That's basically how you do it anyway. You end up with these discs that are sort of an inverted version of the record. That's just, chuck that away. But yeah, it is a really effective method of cleaning a record. You know, so if you've got a record that's you know, either had a spillage or whatever, or if sometimes they don't even necessarily look dirty, but they are crackly. But if they don't look scratched and they are crackly, give it a try. You might, you know, notice quite a big improvement. And even if sometimes it takes 2 or 3 passes with the glue, I mean, it is long-winded, but it's not massively time consuming. It's just you have to leave it to dry, you know. So but it does work really well.